Good morning, YouTube. This morning I'll talk about a duplex that I looked at purchasing. We'll talk about a range, about what the current rents are, about what the market rents look like they are, and how that works out in net operating income, how much the bank would loan against the property, how much I would have offered for the property, and a range that I heard that it went into. I don't know exactly the price. I just know what I was told. So let's get right into this real quick. Okay, so I do want to share with you the picture of the place. Here's the duplex. It's all brick. Asking price $349, and now it says it's pending. So we'll get back to my screen and I'll show you what numbers look like. So at $2,000 a month rent, total yearly income at 0% on vacancy, with everybody paying rent, is $24,000. A net operating income for a bank generally does the numbers and says it's 75% of your total rent. Now they actually lower it a little bit for a anticipated occupancy rate of, let's say, 5% that it's off, so you have transition period between renters. But 18,000 NOI. I think current rents were closer to 2,200. Market rents were about 2,700. And so between the three numbers, that gives your net operating income between 18,000 and 2,430, taking 25% of the property for expenses. That's not including debt expenses, just regular expenses like taxes and insurance and some regular upkeep. Based on that, they look at these numbers. We also look and say, okay, at a $1,677 payment and at a $2,082 per month payment, how much net operating income is needed to cover that at 100%? Now, they don't actually like all of net operating income to be used to cover the payment because there's no buffer in there for them. But this gives you the NOI range on the property and the NOI range on some financing options. So this one would be too high, and so we can underline that and just say this one's too high, so they won't do that. And so if you look at this property, the asking price was $349. So based on the $349,000 asking price, and the net operating income, the bank will loan you $225,000 on this property. So if somebody goes in and says, hey, I'm going to buy this property and I want to finance it, subject to a current appraisal, and they're using like a commercial financing against the rent, they can only borrow $225,000, which leaves them putting in the difference between the two, and I'm actually just going to do a formula because I'm lazy, of $124,000. So they're putting in $124,000 into this property. And at $225,000, your payment probably comes out to about $1,677 per month before taxes and insurance. Your total payment per year then is $20,000. And so if you look at this, after your 25% at current, you're probably going to be putting around $300 a month in there before any big repairs. Okay? So let's look at the situation. So straight up on this property, you're looking at $300 negative cash flow. Now, you put $125,000 cash in, $124,000 cash, I think you can see this, yep, down on the property. And the property is 54 years old. There's 2 AC units on it. There's a roof. There's other things that can happen. There's some siding problems to be fixed. And so there's probably about $8,000 in pending repairs if you're going to go through it and modernize and update it to this number. So I kind of figure about this number. And then you have to figure in for a risk that an AC unit could go out because there might be older. The roof, the age is 6 years, so you're probably okay on the roof. But we're going to figure in another $5,000 in capital repairs. Okay, so let's say you go buy this property. All right, these are the numbers. When you buy the property, you have to figure that you have lost $124,000. You figure the repairs is a reduction in the price of the property, and so now you're at $132,000 and this capital. So you're probably $137,000 into this property before you get anything out. And you're going to have negative cash flow of $300 a month until you get rents up a little bit based on that cash flow. So we'll say that's going to be, let's say, 2 years. So that's another $7,200. So total investment, we're just going to say $145,000 is what you're going to have to, is what you're putting into this property. Now, there's a loan, and the loan is then $225,000, but you can figure the results are a little different. But this is what you're going to have to be prepared for. So if you don't have the $145,000, you can come up with it somehow, and you can get this property down. Now, my highest offer was asking price at $349,000. They ultimately went with something closer to $165,000. I know what they told me. I don't know the actual numbers and the conditions of the numbers. If there's a repair contingency, a lot of times the repairs, will have to be done, and so those might take down the price or change the price a little bit. But that difference is about $16,000. So, if I would have went to bid on this property higher than asking price, it might went into $20,000 range. I might have gotten it. And if you look at the numbers, I'm figuring $145,000 has to go into the property before anything comes out. And with this additional $20,000, that really doesn't leave any room in there for the price to appreciate over the 2 years. And so the way I look at the property a lot of times is I look at the value, which is about, let's say, $349,000. I look at what I have to put in. I look at the cash flow if I can afford it. And based on those things, I make a decision about how high I can go on the price as far as what I'm asking for. So I would have went to the $349,000, but I wouldn't have went above that $349,000 on this property. It just tells me that market's not ready if they're still getting offers above asking price on especially a duplex. It's probably somebody who's going and getting a qualified loan and going to live in. I don't think they live in half. Both halves are rented, but maybe a qualified loan, and they're really maybe just first getting into it, or they're saying to themselves, a duplex is a good investment. Well, a duplex is a good investment at one price, and another price it's not. If you aren't skilled in the way to invest in it, or what prices are, how to manage it, this could be a nightmare for you. I mean, if you put this $124,000 cash down, for instance, that's all the money you have, and you don't have the negative $300 cash flow per month that you're going to have to put into it on this payment. You're basically, your wife's like, hey, we're paying $300 out per month, right? So you do that a month. You're like, this is a horrible investment. Then you hit this repair of an AC unit. You don't know how to get bids and things. It doesn't come out to $5,000. It comes out to $12,000, right? Because you called the wrong company. Now your wife's like, we're doing $300 a month, and the $12,000 is on a credit card. And now you're trying to figure out why duplexes are a good investment. Well, a duplex is a good investment if you understand what you're going to have to put in, if you can afford the cash flow, if the price is right, if the rents are right, if you know how to manage things. So it requires a lot of skill to do. And I would say at $365,000, the person may have some other reason to buy it. Maybe they're doing a tax-free exchange and they needed to purchase a property because they had the pending tax liability, so that saved them some money on that. Maybe that saved them the $16,000 difference. But I just wanted to share with you what an actual deal looks like. If you wanted to be ready for one of these deals, you would save $124,000, right? Before the deal was available, you would have the $8,000 in repairs, and you would create $300 in positive cash flow, either through dividends or maybe through government bonds. Separate from these, once you had all three of these, kind of ready, then you'd have the property management company lined up to help with the skill set. for getting things fixed and managing renters. You would make sure you could trust them, and then you would also have maybe a company to act as a buyer's agent for you on the property, and someone maybe in the local locality that could look at the property for you. And on a property like this, that's going to go pretty quickly because this is priced appropriate. You need to be ready to put an offer on the property in 24 hours, and so maybe it takes you 2 years to get to the point that you can do that offer in 24 hours and boom, make it happen. The other thing you'll have to do is you have to look at properties in that area a lot to make sure you understand what a value looks like. So when this property pops up, you see, oh, this is priced right. And you're not judging your opinion on what everyone else thinks, because once everyone else thinks about it, then the property, if priced right, is gone. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe down below so you can get other content. Also, just let me know what you'd like to see. I'm kind of just sharing with you what I'm learning, what I'm going through, the deals I'm looking at, and also the things that I'm doing in my life, my investments, the cash flow, those type of things to help you out. I'll talk to you later. You have a great day. Bye.